Yeah, we should be live now. I think there might be a delay.
Let me let me check.
Yeah,
Can I
it
go live
says
on
we're
my end?
live.
Okay, I'll go live now.
Okay.
Yo, what's up, guys? Josh here from Ching Nation, and we got another live stream. We got Panda from the Controvert Podcast back here with us again. So, you want to quickly introduce yourself, real quick?
Yeah, what's up, guys? My name is Panda, and I'm from the Controvert Podcast. We talk a lot about modern dating, Asian dating, and we really resonate with Chain Nation a lot because he also talks about Asian dating too. I came on the podcast maybe like 2 weeks ago, but also
Mhm.
for my viewers out there too, I'm also live streaming this, and we're gonna be talking about some dating stuff in Taiwan, like how Taiwan dating has been like, right?
Yep, yep. It's been good, man. It's been good.
With
What
my experience though,
what do you,
I've
yeah.
I've had like almost 2 years of dating in Taiwan. I was just like living there, and I've dated a lot of just fob girls that came from Taiwan to America, and even Chinese girls. But the
Mhm.
breadth of my dating has just been Asians. I haven't had non-Asians like Josh, like we always talk about. Dude, this guy was so shocked last time. He was like, "What the hell? You've never dated a non-Asian?"
Yeah, yeah. So you basically like I guess it makes sense because you're from LA, right? So you've grown
Yeah.
up like around Asians and everything.
Yeah, yeah, but like I really enjoy dating Taiwanese girls like the most. So that's why, dude, when you were about to go to Taiwan, I was like, bro, here you got to do this, you got to do that. And then last time we talked about it on stream, you're like, oh, dude, I'm so excited. And then now you're there, and we're gonna talk about some of the things that you've been doing. Like, I guess, how long have you been there? Like 9 days?
Yeah, this is day 9, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, day 9. It's kind of
Okay.
crazy, dude. It feels like I lived here for like a month already. 'Cause I've done more shit in Taiwan in like a week than I did in like Seattle in like probably 3 months.
And like I know all this stuff because we've been like sending voice messages like a lot. I don't know
Mhm.
what it is, but like
Yeah.
we send voice messages like almost every day, and it's
Mhm.
it's kind of like some homo stuff, but like no homo, but but
Well,
yeah,
you're
dude.
basically a clairvoyant. You're basically a clairvoyant because I feel like yeah, almost everything that you said you think is gonna happen has happened with every single date.
I legit like I don't know what you're comfortable sharing, Josh. So if you want to go ahead
Mhm.
and just like share some things first, and then we'll just go from there. Because I don't know if I could say some names. I don't know if I could say like
Yeah,
certain specific
let's
scenarios,
use
but
aliases.
yeah,
Yeah, we can we
aliases.
can we can dive into it. Probably aliases I think is better than than just doxing people.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do it.
um, yeah, so pretty much, let me think.
Hey,
Oh, so in
how
terms
did
of like
that
Taiwan,
LASIK girl go? Um,
oh,
the
oh
LASIK
yesterday,
date go yesterday.
it was good. Dude, it was funny because so we went to like Morfit. Dude, have you been to that gym, Morfit?
Nah.
Dude, it was so fucking crowded because like I guess it's one of those gyms where personal trainers can just like pay a fee and then they can just train people. So there's like basically half the people is like coaches and clients. So it's obviously like one really fit person and then one like super out of shape person, and then the other half is like normal people. But we went during like rush hour and like there was like no machines. It was like I've never been in like such a packed house. Like I almost got hit. I was like walking by someone and he was doing like lateral raises with the cables, and then he like almost hit me. And then like the girl walked by, and then he almost hit her too. And then he looked like hella. He gave me a glare because this guy was like roided out. I was like, oh
Well, I
shit.
thought you got a membership like somewhere else for like
Yeah, so I go to a
2 years.
different club, but they don't have guest passes.
Oh, okay. So this girl
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
just got LASIK, what, did she show up in like
Well,
sunglasses or something?
no, she's getting Lasix on Friday.
Oh, okay. I thought she showed up with like sunglasses, and it was just like awkward. It was just like showing up like sunglasses and then just like, hey, how's your day? Ni hao ma? Oh, how? Okay, yeah.
She had to wear glasses like leading up to LASIK. So then I was just like, oh, I can wear glasses too. So I just wore glasses to the date.
Did you end up wearing glasses? You did?
I did. So then when I showed up, I thought because like, you can't really tell like this is from Bumble, right? So like, um, I show up and then there's a girl like standing upstairs which wasn't wearing glasses, and I was like, there's no way this girl like we like arranged to wear glasses and then she just ditches the glasses and I look like a fucking nerd. Um, but it turned out to be someone else. So like she was actually wearing glasses.
Oh,
So
okay, okay.
it was a misunderstanding on my part. But yeah, the date was good. Like I've never done a gym date before.
Yeah.
So like we literally just worked out like if it was a homie, but the only difference was it was a girl. And then we like talked more cuz I don't talk to the homies that much when we lift.
Dude, I never had a gym date ever in my life. But I think I was telling you, like, it's kind of like when I go rock climbing, like I had rock
Mm.
climbing or tennis dates. It's cool because
Mhm.
you get to have like some breaks and you don't have to
Mhm.
keep consistently talking. So I always really like sport dates.
Yeah.
But especially in Taiwan, I
Yeah.
don't know, like with gym girls in Taiwan, they could be either really down to earth or really confident or just really horny, I think.
That's true.
I feel like they could be one of the three. They could be either one of those. Yeah, but then in
Why
America,
is it
it's like they're kind of intimidating, you know? Like they want to find a gym rat boyfriend, I feel like.
Dude, I will say like aside from my college girlfriend, I don't have much experience dating gym rat or like gym girls. And then like half of my dates, actually 3/4 of my dates. So I've like gone on like I've seen 4 girls. So like 3 out of the 4 are like gym girls, and then the one that's not still likes the gym. So pretty
Yeah.
much, I think my profile maybe just really filters like the gym part because I have like some physique pics, so I think they like really like that part. But the weird thing is, I think girls in the U.S. think it's like douchey. So it's a weird from the Taiwanese girls' perspectives, from what I gather, they're all like really impressed. I'm able to like get jacked,
Oh,
whereas
okay.
the American girls are more like, oh, this guy's a dick or like a douche, and like they'll probably just
Oh, yeah, yeah.
discount
You
me.
know, that's crazy you mentioned that. Actually, you're right. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Cause I feel like they praise that a lot in Taiwan. Especially like the girls, if they see that you're really fit, they'll be like, "Oh, 你身材很好." But then over
Mhm,
here,
mhm, yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's kind of as if like they want to stray away from that, and they want to just like not give you
Yeah.
any sort of compliments, or
Mhm,
I feel like because when you give compliments to someone, you might be putting yourself at a lower level, and they're scared of that. They want
yeah.
to promote this equality in America, but then in Taiwan, it's you're getting complimented a lot. Remember, you told me like you got complimented so much over there, and over here
Mhm.
in America, you never really got complimented that much, which is
Oh yeah, dude, it's insane, bro. It's like they compliment my voice because like you were the one telling me to send like audio messages, and like literally every single girl has like said like the voice sounds good, and like I've gotten more compliments from this like 1 week than I have in like my entire time dating in the U.S. basically.
so. How many days have you had like so far?
So I've seen 4 girls, and then in total like 7 dates, I think.
Wait,
Because I
what?
saw one girl 3 times, right? Like I saw one girl like the first girl I've gone on 3 dates. The
Oh
rest is
yeah,
only
yeah,
like
yeah,
first dates.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
but I
yeah.
would say the second time it
Um,
was more like a hangout. It was more like you guys went to a club and all.
that was the third time, yeah. But going back to the compliment culture, I think it's really interesting because in the U.S. I feel like, especially in a place such as Seattle, where like it's really looked down upon to be jacked, in my opinion, compared to LA or like a more superficial city, even Vegas. Um, Going from like an environment where in Seattle you kind of feel like an outlier for like, it's almost like you want to like dumb yourself down, like, oh, I don't really lift, right? It's I downplay it like a ton. Here they're like asking me about like, I'll like bring up bodybuilding and they're like asking me about that, or like talking, like one girl was showing me her like form videos. She's like, oh look, I took this video at the gym today and I'm like trying to like improve my form. And I was like, oh, your form's already like really good on that exercise.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, it's crazy. It's like I didn't know like girls like that existed mainly.
I think even girls that come from Taiwan to over here, or just like mostly like fob girls, right? They come from
Mm-hmm,
overseas over here. They still have that culture embedded in them where they
mm-hmm,
want to
mm-hmm.
compliment you. But then like over time, if they still are soaked in with this like American culture of like equality, then they slowly want to just like not give you that many compliments, and they see things as like toxic rather than like a plus. So yeah, I mean, like,
Right, right.
I think that's the culture difference. It's like one is wanting to nick down the other, and then the other is like wanting to promote positivity, which is good, you know. Like I think for like us Asian men, going to like Taiwan to date is a lot less burdensome for us because we don't feel like we don't feel like we're not getting complimented at all. It's not just a one-way street. And I feel like with a relationship, you need like a two-way
Mhm.
street. You need like both people complimenting each other and like loving each other, right?
100%. Like, I will caveat and say this though. I think if you're not like already doing decent in the US or like pretty optimized, I don't think Taiwan's a good country for dating. Like, because a lot of people think Asia is hella easy, like dating on easy mode. I
Yeah.
think from my friends' experiences, like Southeast Asia is probably the case, but I don't think like Taiwan or Japan or East Asian countries are easy. Because I think the reason I'm doing well so far, and I'll just be honest, I don't have like a shit. It's not like I'm getting like thousands of likes and matches like my friends do in like you know Philippines and Thailand. But I think the reason that I'm able to do on the dates is because um like I've been like putting work in with my Chinese and like I've like I can like talk on the dates, right? But if it's like a guy who expects to just come here and then do well, I don't think it's gonna happen. Because you know some people have that impression of Asia, right?
Yeah. It's like they want to be a passport, bro. But I think for Taiwan, we were
Mm-hmm.
talking about this too on the voice messages. We are like, if you want to go to Taiwan, you at least need some sort of understanding of like Mandarin. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
hundred
just be
percent.
like some white dude or okay, like
Well, you can't be a white dude. You can't be a white. It's like basically the
actually
Taiwanese
you
girls here.
can.
They
You
either
can. Sorry,
they
I'm
love
wrong. You
they either
you can be a white dude and you just speak English, and then a lot of the girls they would want to learn English for this white guy. But then I think like if you're Asian and you don't know any Chinese, they'll be like, "Oh, what's the point of getting another Asian, right?" So, I think that's the
you're
problem
Asian.
there.
You know, yeah. I think the so okay. So what I've encountered is like because my the age range of the girls I've seen is like a huge range, right? Like the youngest is 23 and the oldest is 32. And the 32-year-old one was saying how like before she was 30, she only liked white guys, but then she kind of had like an awakening, and now she only likes Asian guys. And then I like um yeah. So then I think I brought an example of oh yeah, I told her my sister has a white boyfriend of like 12 years, and she's like, oh, your sister's got to dump him because he's white. So she's like she went like basically like from loving white guys to now she's like very pro Asian. So I thought that shift was really interesting because it's kind of similar to the shift I had like a few years ago. I mean, I'm not anti-white, but like I'm just like very pro Asian now.
Wait, is this the overseas chick?
No, this is the the jacked one, the super jacked one,
Super jacked one.
the 32-year-old.
Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, let's talk about that one, dude. Um she didn't you say she was like very she was like very kind of masculine, huh?
Well, in my defense, I actually like really fucked up on that date because, so we like, I was like, oh, let's go to get a roll fan, and then I gave like two options. So let's say there's like option A and then option B. Uh, she chose option A, but then in my mind, I thought it was option B, and then I also was running late to the date. So then I show up to the option B, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm here, and she's like, oh, where are you? And then like I guess on Bumble you can call them, and she's like, oh yeah, dude, like we said you're at the wrong place. And then also the place that she went to was closed. So it was like basically the worst logistical nightmare, right? It's like if I told you to go somewhere and I go to a different location, then the
No,
place you go is
but
already closed.
but the thing I was getting at, not really like all that. Like she was like teasing you. Like she was all saying stuff like, "Oh, you're
Well,
cute." Like, do you know how to flirt?
yeah. I think like that leads into it, right? Because then once we actually met up, I was already kind of in like panic mode. Because normally you want to go into a date relax, right? And I'm already like, oh my god, I already fucked up. And
Oh,
she's also older than me, and then she was also the first local that I dated. So then
yeah,
I feel like those three variables really like put a lot of pressure on me because I was like hella nervous.
yeah.
And then it didn't help that her personality was not like a typical like she even said like, oh, I'm not like the typical Chinese Taiwanese girl like because she was like more like masculine, I'd say. Like not masculine, but maybe more like confident. Yeah, she was more confident.
Yeah.
Um, like she would like ask me something like what I think, and I would respond, and she's like, "Oh, I don't really care what you think." I was like, "What the fuck?" So I've never dated a girl like that, right? But then yeah, she basically like
I feel like that's
the
more
good the
common in
good thing.
America though. Like girls who go like, "Oh, I don't care about how you feel with that." But then it's funny because like I came across a girl like that too, and she was also
Mhm.
Taiwanese. She came from Taiwan to over here,
Oh
and then
really?
she would say exactly the same thing that that girl said to you. This girl said to me, and dude, she was a freak, dude. Like sh the first date, dude, I went back to her house, and then she was just like, oh my god, she was just like grinding on me, and then
What the fuck?
she'd be grinding on me, right? And she's like, "Oh, are you hard?" And then she'd be like, "Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. I'm not gonna do anything." I'm like, "What the fuck? This girl's weird, man. She's like sadistic. She wants to see me like suffer or something." I don't know. I feel like that's an outlier though, man. Like not a lot of Taiwanese girls are like that. But
Okay, this girl's like hella jacked. So it kind of makes sense. To get to that point of jackness, you kind of need to like pain. I feel like.
yeah, but I think you could still have like pain, but not be disrespectful to other people, right? I think
But
that's like
I
an
will caveat
outlier.
and say this though. I
Yeah.
will caveat and say this. Like the way I described it made it seem like she was kind of like a dick, but it was actually in a very playful way. So that's where I've never experienced it. Where like uh in the US, I've had some bad dates where the girl just sucks. Right? It's just like she just flat out sucks. Um, like the one I told you about where I like spent too much money. But like I felt like in this case she was like even it was almost like push pull. She almost like implemented push pull on me.
Dude, that
Like
happens. That look,
I feel like she literally push pulled me. I'm pretty sure.
like as much as we want to say like Taiwan dating is good, I think there's still a lot of those outliers out there. Um, that they're slowly getting affected by this like Western media and this Western culture of wanting to like degrade or like playfully tease like men and like act like
Hmm.
they're hot shit, you know?
I mean, I think for this girl, it's more of a function that she's like older, so she's probably been on more dates, right? So it's like a bigger data point. Because I will say, like so I've dated like three locals, and aside from this girl, the other two I don't think date as much. Like they're just more kind of like sensang though. Like they probably just like don't date that much, or they're in relationships or single for a long time. So they acted more like kind of like what you think about Taiwanese girls, like super sweet. Like you were telling me how one girl on the first date bought you like medicine or some shit.
Yeah.
So I think that so like aside from this gym girl that's older, the other two who are like a little younger than me were more like in a line with what you described about Taiwanese girls, like sweet and caring and yeah, more feminine.
I think there's like okay, so there's that second girl, right? The really jack girl. And then the first girl, she's like overseas or something, right? Yo, am I
Yeah,
exposing you
first
too
girl's
much
from
by the way?
the no, it's fine. You're good. You're good. The first girl is like from Europe, but she's doing like a working holiday here. So,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, that one like I think she's too young probably. Um, so that was the first girl I went on a date with. So I kind of think like the way I see dating is like the more so it's kind of hard to say. I think you want a big enough sample size, but you also don't want to fall into that trap where it's always like a grass is greener. Because I've seen, yeah, I know guys that like they've gone on like over 100 dates in a year, and like they just find like the most nitpicky thing, like, oh, that girl's like nose is like slightly off angled or like some shit, because they date so much that they think there's always going to be a better girl out there, or like, oh, like, I'm not attracted to her. The
Yeah.
thing with dating is the looks part is only the like it's only the beginning, right? I feel like if you only date it based off looks, like it never lasts. Like the long-term traits are more like compatibility and like shared values and all that stuff. So while I think it's good to date enough, I don't think it's good to keep dating. Like let's say you find a good girl, like I think it's better just to like kind of go with it versus just like keep on going, right? I don't know what your
Yeah.
take is on that.
Um yeah, I mean like I definitely prioritize personality a little bit more, and I don't let
Mhm.
looks get to me that much. But I feel like with dating in Taiwan, it's like as if the looks are up there and the
Mhm.
personality is up there by a lot as well. I think I'll just give an
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
example because some people might not know what
mm-hmm.
I'm talking about. So,
Sure.
for example, the medicine thing, what Josh mentioned earlier. So, I think I talked about this on the first stream that we did before, where it was like, um, this girl like bought me medicine when I was hungover, and this was our first date. We had like just like going, we were just like going across this night market, and then I was just like, yo, I can't do this anymore. And then we went into like a Family Mart or 7-Eleven, and
Mm,
she was like, "Oh, I bought this for you." And all of a sudden, like she just got me like medicine. I was just like, "Damn, dude!" Like, I feel like in the states that doesn't happen too much because they would kind of just ask like, "Are you okay?" But they wouldn't really do much. And I feel like actions speak
mm-hmm,
louder than words.
mm-hmm,
And in that sense, it's like, damn, like I don't know. It just makes much more of a big of a impact when it's like their actions are much better than what they're just like speaking. Because like I've been in many situations where they ask like, "Oh, are you okay?" No, I care about you. But then it's like it's just empty words. And with
right, right.
dating girls in
Mm-hmm,
Taiwan, they actually show things to prove that they actually like you and care about you. Because here's another example. It's just like a whatever one. For example,
mm-hmm,
I'd be like I'd be like showering, and then when I come out, this girl I'm dating, she's like literally just dusting my whole apartment and just like cleaning
mm-hmm,
up, sweeping the floor, and organizing. Because like I feel like Asian culture, their space is so small and limited that they have to utilize
mm-hmm,
their space a lot. But it also goes to show that like this girl, she is so affectionate, and it's hard to find that over here in America. So
mm-hmm,
honestly,
mm-hmm.
yeah, that's why I feel like dating in Taiwan is good. Not only that, there's also like the way they talk. The way they talk, aside from all the ones that we talked about, with
Mm-hmm.
like the cockiness and the confidence, I feel like most of them, the way they talk is just very. It's kind of like some anime shit. I don't know if you feel like that. It's just like some. It's just like some so kawaii and cute, like a little girl. And
Oh yeah, yeah.
dude,
The
you
the
go on the
Koi.
subways too, right? If you see the eyes, the aunties, like they're like 40, 50s,
Nice.
they have like really high pitched voices too. They don't sound like old grandmas. They sound like young fucking Asian anime girls. I don't know what it is, but like in Taiwan, it's like as if
Like the,
they promote these girls or even women, like older women, to like speak in a very affectionate way. And that shit fucks with my mind, man. I was thinking about because like we were setting up this like call, and I was just like, why are these girls so affectionate in Taiwan? And then I was thinking about it because
yeah,
I had
I think it's the accent, bro. I think it's the accent.
yeah, I think it's the accent, it's the voice, the tonality. Um, I had an ex in Taiwan before. We were dating when I was over there, and she would say like
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
some fucked up things before. She'd be like, "Oh, I don't care." Yeah, like exactly like what we were talking about. Like, it would just be like, "Oh yeah, you could go get other girls. I don't care. I'm gonna go get this guy." And then
Mm-hmm.
it's just the way she said it. Still, it just sounded so affectionate still, and I was just like, you know what? I think it's the fucking voice. It's the voice that's throwing me off, man. Yeah.
Well, okay, this is the thing I actually have noticed because I'm half Chinese, right? So I've been to China like equally as many times as Taiwan, if not more.
Yeah.
And I think the voice of Taiwanese people is so nice sounding that I can't tell if like I like it because it's almost like a fake feeling. Like it's almost like a utopia. Like it's like no one sounds weird.
Uh,
It's like if you're in like a video game and you can choose like your like which map you're playing. You can choose one where like people are like hella mean to you sounding, or like hella nice sounding.
See, that's
Even
the
if
thing
they're
that fucks me up because it's like, if she sounds so nice and anime sounding like some kawaii little girl, but then the things that she's saying is so devious, do we just give her a pass
Mhm,
because she sounds nice? That's like
mhm. Definitely
that's
give her a
mind blowing
pass.
to me.
Yeah.
But another thing I thought about, because you said you're half Chinese and half Taiwanese, so which one do you like better now, Taiwan or China?
I've always liked Taiwanese better.
Really?
Like ever since I was a kid. But like you gotta code switch a little bit, right? If it's like Chinese people. I'll definitely say like half. But if it's Taiwanese people, I kind of just say like, oh yeah, like I'm more time. Like I just tell them I like Taiwan better.
Dude, because it kind
um,
of fucked with my brain too. Because I think in your profile you put like a Taiwanese flag and a Chinese flag together, and then
yeah, my IG, yeah, my
yeah,
Instagram.
it's like some people would see that as like contradictory. They'll be like, oh, what the fuck? It's like either select
Mhm.
one, but um, I feel like honestly, statistically, a lot of the people in Taiwan they're made up of Han Chinese. So
Right,
I mean,
right,
we
right.
we all
I
have
mean,
Chinese blood. If you do a 23 on me, it's all Chinese blood. So I mean, in a sense, it's the same, but
yeah.
not really the same, right? It's just like in
I think
terms
my
of like what
family
you
is
believe
Blue
in.
Party anyways, so I don't think it matters. I think if they're a Green Party on my mom's side, then there'd be more issues. Um, okay, but okay, going back to the voice thing, I wanted to say one thing that before I forget. Um, so the girl that I like the most, the front runner of my wife quest, um, one thing I did notice is I feel like when she was talking to other people, she's like a little 比较凶一点, just like a little meaner. Like, but then I feel like when she talks to me, she's like, I don't know if it's because I'm ABC or something, but I feel like she talks like a lot more, um, 温暖一点, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
softer.
Okay, so
And I kind of like that. I kind of
for the
like that.
people
Like,
that don't speak Chinese, like what does that mean? Like Wenran.
I think she like softens her voice. See, I can't tell if it's because of me or because my Chinese isn't as good as a local because I'm like clearly ABC.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a change of like um tone, right? But I kind of like that because it makes you feel special.
Yeah, I think what it is there's some things that go online and it's like we want our women to be like feminine when it is with us, but then when it's with like outside people, like she could be like a boss babe. It doesn't matter, right? I think that's like
Mhm, mhm,
I would say my ideal woman, like if she's like boss babe, but then like when she comes home, she's like feminine, that's
mhm,
really good. I had a lot of Taiwanese girls that were like that. They would be like talking to the 店员, like the store workers, and they'd be
mhm,
like
mhm,
speaking really fast and assertive. And then when she
mhm,
comes to talk to me, she's like very sweet. But I don't think, Josh, I don't think it's because your Chinese isn't that good. I think because with me, my Chinese is pretty
mhm,
good,
mhm,
but they switch like they become really affectionate all of a sudden
mhm,
with
mhm,
their man, but then like with outside people they're like super businesswoman, which is
mhm.
which is good, man.
Yeah, yeah. Let me ask you this: do you think the reason we have this experience? Because I will say this: I don't think that like these girls probably treat like I don't think every guy in Taiwan likes dating. Like I'm sure that some of them struggle the same as guys do in the U.S. or probably most of the guys do, right? That's how dating works, online dating.
Yeah.
Do you think the reason that we're able to have these such pleasant experiences is because we're just like more high value in the sense that we're like ABC, probably like richer, and then like they kind of like the interesting dynamic of like, oh, this guy is like from Maple, like the ones that like us, like it's a huge status boost. So do you think it's more of just like a this is kind of how like celebrity, like it's almost like you can replicate this in the US, but it's just a lot harder? Or do you think like, yeah, what's your take on like why this happened, I guess?
Yeah, it's so funny that you bring this up because like when we first started this podcast, I was gonna talk about this, but I was gonna
Mhm.
say that yeah, I feel like the guys over there, they're just not that great, man. Like a
In
lot of girls,
Taiwan,
like
right?
they tell me, a lot of the girls there, they're like, oh yeah, a lot of guys over here, they expect a lot, and then they expect me to like not wear revealing clothes. They expect me to not have
Mhm,
like guy friends. It's like
mhm.
the red pill guys over here, but like probably 10 times more over there. I feel like,
A
and then
blue
so
pill
then
you
you
mean?
have
Blue pill you mean?
these guys too. They don't really have a personality over there.
Mhm,
I'm not trying to be like I'm not trying to be discriminatory, but like that's just what a lot of
mhm,
girls tell me, because it's more, if you think about it, right? It's a more structured society over there. It's a more structured
mhm,
country. So when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about like everyone gets in line really well. Everyone knows how to line up. I'm not saying Americans don't know how to do that, but like in terms
mhm.
of Taiwan, it's like a whole nother level. It's like they work for their fucking bosses as if they're like their dogs. They're like, oh, you know what? Overtime? Yeah, I'm gonna work for free. Overtime, I don't
Oh
care.
yeah, dude. Oh my.
And then dude,
the working culture is insane. Yeah.
bro, I worked there for 2 years, man. These people would show up early at like 8 a.m. and then
Mhm.
I would come in at like 10 a.m. Okay, I'd be leaving at like 6 p.m. These motherfuckers would still be there, and I'm like, holy shit. Then I don't know. I one time I stayed like really late till like about 8 p.m. and people were still
Mhm.
there at 8 p.m. and I was just like
Dude,
asking
8 p.m. is
them,
like early, dude. That's like average, I think.
nah, 8 p.m.'s kind of late. Late is like 9 p.m.
Dude, these
Okay.
girls are, bro. These girls are like, oh, I can get off early today. I can get off at like 7. I'm like, what the fuck?
Dude, when I first heard that, dude, in 2019 when I first started dating there extensively, I was just like, yo, is this girl lying to me? But yo, like legit, 7 p.m. It's like their average time they get off. But that's what I mean. Like, it's a more structured society where they obey their masters pretty much. They obey the government. They obey their bosses and the company. And so, when you have that promotion of idea, then of course, like the guys over there, the girls over there, everyone over there, they're going to be just listening and just 听话, just being like more docile. And I think when
Mhm.
you have more of a docile personality, you're, I guess, a little bit lackluster in terms of like adventurous and boldness, because we as like Asian Americans, or just like maybe white people who go over there, maybe black people, whatever, right? Just people who go
Mhm.
over there to travel as Americans, I feel like we're just more bold as people compared to like the Taiwanese people over there. So then it's not that we're higher status per se. I think it's just more so we have more of an interesting personality that makes these girls go like, oh, you know what? I want to give this Asian American, I want to give this white guy, I want to give this black guy a chance. So,
Mhm. Th- Actually, that's a really good point. And also, I think one thing I will say is I do respect the hustle culture in a sense that like it's much better what they have here. Like I know like you were just saying like oh these guys are working way too much. It's much better what they have here than what goes on in the U.S. where like people are like lazy as fuck or like unambitious and lazy. Like they just don't have things going on. I think the fact that people are working towards something I personally admire just because um, if it's not like work, I still like love hustling on the side or like just doing like honestly I treat my hobbies as like a hustle. Like even
yeah.
playing ping pong and stuff. I'm always trying to improve. So I do like that mindset. In the sense of what you said of like the whole like docile versus like it's almost like a certain like what is it like disagreeableness I guess
Yep.
even for me where I would consider myself in the US as someone that's more low on the disagreeable rakeness and that's actually something I'm trying to improve out on this trip. um I feel like even though I rank low on the US in terms of like that scale compared to the locals here and the culture here, it's actually I'm still like quite outgoing even though in my own mind I like know where I stand in the US where I'm like especially living in Seattle where everyone's like hella neurotic and like it seems like everyone kind of just like keeps to themselves.
Yeah.
um I definitely feel like I like filter myself around a lot of people. And there's one story where like I put on my IG, but essentially normally I don't like filming when I'm at the gym, but because I'm in like a pretty good shape right now. I'm trying to get content, so I like set up a tripod, and then I kind of wanted to push myself, and I had a feeling that you're not allowed to take your shirt off, but I just like said fuck it and didn't anyways. And then the staff did tell me to like put my shirt back on, and like they like yelled at me and said like, oh, you also can't have a backpack. But for me, I actually like was really happy. I kind of just like pushed myself because I was like a bit shaken because I'm not used to like going against like the grain like that, right? Um, and I guess the reason why do I bring this example up? I feel like that quality of just like kind of being more willing to like just do what you want and like express yourself, similar to like what you need for content creation,
Yeah.
is so rare here that
Yeah.
like that trait in itself can like elevate a guy on a date,
By the way,
way more
when
than
you say
like
here,
looks and
you're in
stuff.
Taiwan, right? Cause I feel like
I'm in Taiwan right now.
I don't think you gave an intro like that you're in Taiwan
Oh,
right
dude.
now. I think we need to open with that. I think
Oh yeah,
for my viewers,
I'm in
they're
Taipei
probably
right
like a
now.
little bit confused. They're probably like, "Oh, here? Does he mean Seattle or what?" But yeah, he's in Taiwan right now. Yeah, he's been dating
Well, yeah.
extensively.
When I say here, I'm saying okay. I'm just gonna start using the location names because I think I'm interchanging them.
Yeah.
um,
I'll comment on that, by the way. So
sure.
yeah, like I think the only positivity that I see with like Taiwanese, them being more structured is that they do work a lot faster. They're more efficient. But the biggest thing I would say is they lack the whole American ideal of like I would say individuality because we have this like freedom of speech promotion. I'm not saying they don't have freedom of speech, but their freedom of speech compared to ours is we promote individualism so much that we become our own person and we aren't scared to be ourselves. And that's why girls over there, they see our authentic self and then they're like, yo, like this guy is actually legit. Compared to over there, like a lot of these guys, of course, yeah, if they make some good amount of money, they're probably all the same in terms of personality because they're a little bit scared to speak up and they have these structures in place that makes them not want to go against their government, not want to go against their company and all of that. By the way, your thing's on mute. I don't know if you know
Um, shit, I just realized we have a chat here.
that.
Let's.
Yeah, I
Let me
have
just
one
pull up the
chat.
comments. Good evening,
There's just one guy,
Charles,
Person Smith. I'm the one live viewer.
Brian, and Charles.
I got one live viewer, so like actually two right now. So if anyone
One of
wants
them
to
is me.
open up another window, I'm popping mine. Controvert podcast. Shout out to the subs.
Um,
Yeah, dude. This
but,
this is
but
the
yeah,
first
I
time
think
I'm
like
doing live in like 2 years. Honestly, it's been a while.
yeah, live is a different beast. I think. Yeah, if anyone wants to comment, like what they think of, if they've been to Taiwan or any questions so far.
Oh shit! Someone came in. LMAO, I got you. I'll open up the other. Okay,
Wait, who was
okay.
it?
No, I meant like people from Chain Nation. Like if they want to convert over here, I just like unsubscribe. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I can't do you
um,
like that, man. I got a lot of respect for Josh.
it's all good. You can take my subs. I don't mind.
He's like
You
he's
helped
like
me
shit. I
out
got
enough
you
this
know.
trip, dude. Literally, I think like I would say Panda, like his insights for how to date in Taiwan have like single handedly got like changed the game for like every single date. Because I'll like ask questions. Like one girl literally said, and I'm pretty sure you matched with her too, right? Like
Yeah,
the front
yeah,
runner for me is like a girl you matched with like 9 months ago who like didn't really talk. Like you guys didn't really talk, right?
yeah. We'll call her C. Okay, so this C girl. I matched with
This
her,
this.
and this guy. I matched with this girl like almost a year ago, man. Oh shit! I'll donate $20 for a front double bicep. Hey, how about we do a comparison? Mine is a lot smaller, so we'll see.
Maybe in like 5 minutes. I want to talk about the sea girl story first. Um,
Wait, leave that up. Leave that up. All right, we gotta remember. We gotta give this guy his double bicep just for fun. I don't care about the $20. I mean, it goes to Josh anyways. So.
it's like $12 after the YouTube tax.
Oh shit, that's crazy demonetization.
But like
Okay, this C girl. Okay, so
yeah,
I got matched with
yeah,
her
the sea
about
girl.
like a year ago, and then I was sending voice messages, and then dude, Josh was all like, "Hey, I'm very excited for this girl," and then he showed me a picture of her. I was like, "Yo, why does this girl look so familiar?" I look it up, and I'm like, "Yo, Josh, you mean this girl?" And then I was like, "That's crazy." But this girl ended up leaving me on red, and dude, she's been sending Josh a lot of voice messages. So Josh got the W Riz right there. But how about you give some of the prediction that I gave, the fortune telling shit I gave when I was like, okay, the way she
Um,
talks, it sounds like voice message. The voice messages that she sent, it sounds very business oriented.
which girl is this? C or the other
See,
one?
yeah, see.
Oh yeah. She sounded very like professional. Yeah, for sure.
But I was like, there's still a chance because the fact that she left me on red and like was replying you, I think, dude, she's probably into you. So then yeah, I don't know if you want to say the rest.
Yeah, I mean that day was kind of interesting because we like it was like dinner, then drinks, and then like the park. But at first, like yeah, I'm always late to these dates, bro. I gotta start like leaving earlier. But I like showed up late, and then I felt kind of like awkward because I'm like already late. And then I felt like during the dinner it felt kind of awkward actually. Like I just felt like we were like talking about work mainly, and then I don't really fucking know the terms in Chinese for a lot of this work stuff because I don't use it that often. So I'm
You
just like
don't know the
I'm not
technical terms.
yeah, pretty much if it goes any niche like the
我的
conversation,
工
I'm just
作
here like
行程是礼拜六要去跟我的老板开个会，我们要去会议室，然后我们今天谈了一些技术的东西，我们要怎么开发，我们要进行在美国可以上 IPO。
yeah, basically like we were
Sorry for everyone who doesn't speak Chinese. Holy shit.
yeah, so I actually couldn't tell after dinner. And I will say this was the most expensive date out of all of them because she like chose the places. But we went to like a whiskey bar after, and then I think during the whiskey bar she like really opened up when we started talking about lifting really. Because then I kind of realized she kind of like started getting really into the gym a year ago, and then she's like cut. If a girl's been through a cut, I can easily relate, dude, because I've gone through like a bunch of like cutting, like losing weight phases. And then I think I showed her some of my lifting videos, which I fucking never do on dates because she like asked to see or whatever. And then yeah, I think there's like a shifting point where like I'm not sure if it's because of the alcohol and like it's like loosen up or whatever. But yeah, the conversation definitely turned more like a date versus just like a coffee chat. And I think for me, I'm like I always ask these girls about like how they usually date, and like she said like because I was asking her like how old she goes because that's something I always ask is like, oh, what's your like upper echelon for the age range, because normally girls will say they date older, right? So then she's like, oh, like I think like 30 is okay. I was like, oh, what about 40? She's like, oh yeah, 40 is okay. And I was like, what the fuck? And then she basically said the oldest date she's gone on was like plus 20 years, so the guy was 48. And I was like, oh, I wonder how. And I'll hear this out. So I was like, oh, how did that date go? And then she's like, oh yeah, like you just talked about work and it was like pretty interesting to hear. And then I was like, oh, so it just sounded like a lecture. She's like, oh yeah, it's just like it was basically just like attending a lecture. And then I was like, you realize like this guy is talking for like a different mudi. And then because for her it's entertaining from like a career standpoint, but then for this guy he's obviously trying to like try to get with her, right?
Bro, you know it's so funny that you're using like Chinglish a lot more, dude. I feel like you're getting like fob wash. You're like different mudi. Like what the fuck?
Oh yeah, mudi means purpose. So basically what I was trying to point out by like talking about the example was like I don't think she was like attracted to the guy, but she was like interested in like what he had to say in terms of from like a career like she was like treating like a coffee chat, and then he's just like probably on a date trying to like treat it like a date. So I think like
real quick,
just like talking
I'll answer you back in a sec, but like I got a comment on my live stream. Not sure if you ever mentioned this, Panda, but why did you leave Taiwan if you enjoyed it so much? So WMW, I'm gonna reply you after I reply Josh. I just want to make sure everyone's like getting their questions answered. So
yeah, I'm such a good host. Oh wait, let me finish the story real quick.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think once I like the point of me bringing that story up is I feel like once I'm able to like talk about dating or like non-work related topics, which I think a lot of guys don't do actually, because girls will say like, oh, I usually never talk about my past dates or whatever. It really like opens it up, and like they're not used to talking about it, right? So then I feel like that plus just like hanging out more. We like ended up like making out at the at the bar, and then I'm not sure if that's normal in Taiwan to like make out at the bar or whatever, because I feel super like awkward because there's like fucking workers around.
Dude,
it's just like
I told you, dude. Like I did it right in front of the bartender, like on the actual bar, and then it was like pretty much broad daylight in there. It wasn't like actually broad daylight, but like all the lights were on. It wasn't like a dim lit bar. And then we were just like making out in front of the bartender. Dude, they're super chill about it. Like, I don't know what it is, but like bartenders over there, they got this swag, and then they're super chill. They're different from the people that you see on public transport, like those awkward just day-to-day like Taiwanese netizens.
Civilians, right?
Yeah, civilians. But yeah, like bartenders are totally different. With this girl though, I feel like it's very common because a lot of girls over there, as I said, right, this goes hand in hand because they like to work a lot over there. Their
Mhm.
mind is completely rewired to a point where it's like I'm just thinking about work and I'm just thinking about how to be
Mhm.
professional. And I think that's why
Mhm.
you had trouble opening up with her. I'm not saying
At first.
that's it's not a commonality over here in America, but I feel like over there it's definitely way harder to get a girl to open up. So I don't want to make it sound like dating over there is so easy and then everyone should just like go over there and move over there. Like the only
Mhm.
reason why I'm down to do this podcast is not to like promote like hey, like all the boys be passive bros and move
Mhm.
over. No, like you actually have
Mhm.
to have some sort of status and you have to have some
Mhm.
sort of competence to go over there and like um actually game because you can't just rely on like okay, like
Mhm.
all the girls are into like Asian Americans, so I'm just going to go over there and
Mhm.
just speak English and not give a fuck. Like you actually have to
Mhm.
know what you're doing. And you have to know how to open up with people. I think like what Josh Chain Nation is really good at is he's got this very soothing voice, no homo, but like it just sounds so simpy and nice that I feel like the girl I think this is your natural trait. The girl would just be like, "Oh, he seems like such a sweetheart. I could talk to him about anything." And you don't have to say anything. I think they just look at your face and they're just like, "Oh, he's so ka'ai. Let me squeeze his cheeks." Cuz you kind of have cheeks, bro.
Yeah. 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 I have simp game, bruh.
Yeah, but then they see it like a
Natural
fuckboy
simp
like
game.
me and they're like, "Oh, I can't say anything. This guy's going to exploit my weaknesses." No way.
It's that self-given fade, bro. You shave your own head.
Yeah, I know. Like, dude, I haven't even cut my own hair for like 2 weeks. Like, shit's getting fucked up.
Oh damn, it looks pretty good for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Because I get a haircut every 2 weeks.
yeah. Let me answer this guy first. Okay, so not sure if you
Okay,
ever
you're good.
mentioned this, Panda, but why did you leave Taiwan if you enjoyed it so much? So, when I was over there, I was working there. As I'm saying, like everything goes hand in hand. I'm not saying anything like contradictory, right? So I'm gonna say this: I love the girls over there in Taiwan, but the problem with living there, just like working like your day-to-day job, right? Your full-time job, you would soon find out like you're kind of slaving away. Cause I worked at a company called ViewSonic. It's a American company too. They do like monitors. And even for an American company based in Taiwan, my pay was not bad. It was pretty good. The problem is after you get off work, dude, you have to fucking figure out how am I gonna get home? Am I gonna take the bus? Okay, the bus delayed. Am I gonna take the train? Okay, train, it's gonna be like 30 minutes. That's delayed too. Fuck it, I'll just take a scooter back home. And it's just like you have to rent the scooter, and you're like, dude, everything's a fucking mess, and you have to worry about all this shit every day. And I think I really envy Taiwanese people because their brains are constantly being worked, but at the same time, it's not being worked because, um, you like I said, you go to like a MRT, like the subway. You look at the person straight ahead of you, to your left, to your right. Everyone's on their phones, right? But then at the same time, they're also figuring out how to do things every day to survive. So they're figuring out should I take a cab, should I take a MRT, train, whatever, right? Um, But I think the biggest thing for me too is whenever I take public transport or I'm just on the road walking, I try to talk to anyone or I see people around. It's crazy because for a place as big as, not even as big, as crowded as Taipei, it's like people people are very isolated. People don't really talk to each other, which is I don't know, it's kind of depressing in my opinion. That's why I wanted to leave. So I think that's the mark of a true man when you aren't just staying in a place just for girls. Like you could be a fucking degenerate just staying in a place like overseas, like, oh, I want to get all these girls, but like I got out quick. A lot of people are still over there. A lot of Asian Americans are still staying over there. And then, dude, I know people they've been there for 10 years and they're just on the verge now of coming back because they're just like, okay, I've had my fun. Now I can restrain myself. But dude, like 2 years is pretty short to be very fucking honest, to be very blunt. So it is a transportation commute reason. No, it's also like the people just in general. Like it's hard to connect with them. Just like day to day people, right? Civilians that you come across. But over here, right away when I landed here in America, I was talking to some people at the airport, and I was like, "Hey, where'd you get that? It looks really good." And I was like, "Is that Panda Express?" And then we were just talking, and we were just having a good time. And then all of a sudden, I was on the phone with my girlfriend, like FaceTiming, and I was like, "Hey, look at my girlfriend, dude. She's she's like shaking her ass or whatever, dude." Because at that time she's like just trolling. Like we're big fucking trolls. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
I do think that like you're like listening to your story. I feel like this place is not as good if you're super extroverted because I would consider you like very extroverted. Um, but I think it's better if you're like introverted or like in the middle because
Yeah.
I'm a lot more introverted than you. I don't think people realize. So like, uh, but I do think that Taiwan's one of the places where it's really good to vacation, but it probably sucks to work here because you have no time to like enjoy life.
Yeah, I
Um,
never
and
understood
and then
that until I started working there. It's very interesting. But then um once I once I came back to America in like 2020 2022. I don't know why I said 2000. 2022, right? I didn't go back for like 2 years. And then when I finally went back, I was like, fuck, I have to go back to Taiwan. I kind of didn't want to go.
Mhm.
But then when I went for a vacation, I was like, you know what? Taiwan, now I know what people mean when they say Taiwan is good for vacationing, but not good for living there.
Mhm.
Because living there,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, it's dreadful. It's kind of sad, honestly, to be very frank. Yeah.
I could see that. I could see that.
Dude, are you like watching reels while I'm talking to you? What the fuck?
No, I'm storing to get more people to join.
Oh, okay, okay. I was like talking, and then I see this guy on his phone. And I'm like, what is he doing? But he's doing some
No,
marketing.
no,
So I,
yeah, I'm doing marketing. No, I,
I'm like, so
yeah, I think
disrespectful, man. God damn.
no. Yeah, I think it just depends on like lifestyle. Because I do think some people, it really just comes down to like pros and cons. Because there's pros and cons of living here versus the U.S. I think the biggest deterrent for anyone who's American is your like salary is gonna be way lower unless you can get a U.S. job. I think that's like if I want to live, I think I want to live here, but it's not really possible unless I can get like a U.S. job or like work for myself, basically. Um,
Yeah,
because like dude, the the fucking salary is like what I make over there versus like what you can make here is like 3 to 4x difference. It's like ridiculous, and you're working more here too.
it's strange though because like despite like Taiwan like having its flaws, I don't know what it is, but like the women there, they're still like very down to earth and they're still very compassionate. And then yeah, like the work life balance, it does get to them, and then it affects their way of talking. Like the girl, like the C girl, right? At first, when she was talking to you, she was very professional and she didn't know how to open up, right?
Mhm.
Um, the other girl, the LASIK girl, she kind of talked very professional too. Remember I said that? I
Yeah,
think
that one I think the date was more professional, but dude, to be honest, I think because the dates were kind of like back to back days, right? Like I met the C girl first, and I like really liked her.
yeah,
I feel like I didn't really try to do as much on the LASIK girl, if that makes sense. Like had I not met the C girl, I might have tried to like make the conversation like more like man to woman, you
hey
know. But
hey,
I didn't really try as much.
should we have that talk about the first
What's the
girl?
talk? Oh, the first girl.
The first, should we have that talk?
No, I think she's
Because bro, I feel like you're bouncing all over the place, right? Because you're like now I really like the C girl, but then at first you were like I really like the first girl. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
I think
You're hella
yeah.
simping for that chick, the first chick.
I don't think I was simping for her, no.
Bro,
Because I think
all right. You're hell
what
in
happened
love.
with the first girl. No, no, okay, okay, here, hear me out. What
Okay.
happened with the first girl is you were encouraging me to go on the second date, the date with the second girl,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think once I went on the date with the second girl, I kind of like my head, I could think a little more clearly, and then the first girl seemed like I think I like sunk a little bit, but then I kind
yeah,
of like shot you know, like and
yeah,
got infatuated, and then like came back to reality.
yeah.
But I think with the C girl, I did go on another date after, and I still felt the same way. So I think that's a little different, right?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like the C girl is higher quality. I think because the first girl, here I'll just say some of the things, right? The
No,
first
just
girl,
say. I'll cut you off if you say too
yeah,
much.
yeah. So the first
Go for
girl,
it.
I think like one of the big things is she talked about sex a lot. She was just like, "Oh, I'm horny right now. Come." She's like, "I'm horny right now. Come over," or something like that, right? And it was just like the first day after the first date, and I was just like, "Yo, bro, this girl has a lot of red flags," and you were like saying, "Well, she likes sex. I mean, at least she's honest about it." And don't get me wrong, I feel like if a girl is honest about it, that's fine. But then there's a threshold, right? You can't be straight off right off the bat and be like, "Hey, I'm horny," because then that gives the guy a bad impression. It's just like, dude, like, so do you just want sex or what? I mean, even for like girls too, I feel like if a guy said to a
Hmm.
girl, "Hey, I'm horny," come over, like after the first date, she'd be like, "What the fuck? Does this guy
Hmm.
just want sex?" Right? So yeah, I
It's a
think,
double-edged sword, right? Because like on the one end, it strokes the shit on my ego, and I feel like a superhero. But on the other end, I do feel like slightly objectified. Like, is this girl just in it
but
for my
dude,
chi chi, or does
you're
she want?
hardcore defending that. You're hardcore like, no, it was good though. Like it's good that she's like this. Like, what's wrong with like a girl who likes sex and stuff?
Well,
Remember?
I mean, I think for me, I came from like a long-term relationship where like that aspect became kind of like long distance and a few other variables. It just was atypical, and then
Yeah,
I kind of needed like a little bit of like a go the other end of
stimulation.
the extreme, but then now I'm kind of more like centered. Right? It's
Yeah,
almost like if you're like it's almost like if you're like a super neurotic, shy like software engineer, you kind of need to go cold approach some people and like piss them off. Not because you should learn to piss people off normally, but it's because once you learn to piss people off, then you can act normal and like have the balls to just like talk to someone normally. You know
it's
what I'm saying? You
true.
gotta like you gotta push them into the extreme.
It's true. Like sometimes me, like I feel like being the extrovert I am, there's
Mhm.
some times where I'm insecure, right? And then I, I told you this before. I did prank channels. Okay,
Mhm.
I had a prank channel
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
called Legend Panda TV, and I felt like
Mhm.
there's a period of time where I was getting a little bit insecure, and I was like, you know what? I need to push myself to the extreme. So I just started doing pranks, and then that just, I guess it made me a little bit more extrovert and more secure. But like,
Mhm.
yeah, I know what you mean. But
I, I will say this, because I feel like the conversation it kind of it sounds like we're like shading on we're kind of saying the pros and cons of like
yeah,
Taiwan's culture and the dating,
yeah, yeah,
but I do think like this trip is really important for me because it's built a lot of confidence in the sense that I've never like solo traveled, and then I've had so many like positive reference experiences that like I think when I go back to the US, I can kind of know what it's like to like date in a place that's kind of more normal.
yeah.
Because sometimes in the US, it can feel like you're putting all this work in to like level up and like work on yourself, but then you're just not getting the validation results. And at the end of the day, like you can argue like, oh, just be stoic or like don't really care about external validation. But if you don't get any external validation, then it's pretty hard to develop like I think true confidence, right?
You
Because
know, I
I think
tried that
confidence
before.
leads to confidence.
I tried that before where you just like act stoic and not like give a fuck and just try to be like a
Hmm.
sigma male and not talk too much. Dude, that doesn't
Hmm.
really get girls that much either. Like you have to have a lot of money
Yeah,
and just like show
yeah.
up with like your car and then girls will appreciate you. I think that's
Hmm.
very few men would achieve that. So you can't just like act stoic, right? Um I do think that hearing your journey, right? And we
Hmm.
should definitely have a catch up session, right? Have a catch up session where it's like after you come back to Seattle from Taiwan,
Hmm.
then we see your overall experience and then we could give like a conclusion. But just like
Hmm.
from my experience, just based on what you talked about when you're like, yeah, like going back to like Seattle, I'll have like a lot more confidence and how you built up a lot of confidence. When I was in that same boat, I came back to America and I was just like, dude, I feel like unstoppable. I was like, I could
Hmm.
approach any fucking girl right now. But
Hmm.
yeah, that
Hmm.
thing does kind of wear off after a while.
Hmm.
Because
Hmm.
then yeah, you go back to your normal life and yeah, you're not in Taiwan anymore. So
Hmm.
you'll probably you'll find that like it'll fade, bro. Like when you come back here, you'll be like, oh
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
But at the same time, dude, like um I do think that men who have status, and I will say that you do have status, right? Because like you look at your fucking profile, dude, you're like Mr. Olympia, like the Asian Mr. Olympia. I'm just like, how is this guy lacking in confidence? Yo, if this guy is lacking in confidence, bro, we should all be eating shit now as men. How, bro? Can you? What were you the champion of? Can you shed some light on that? What the hell was that? Some Arnold
No, I
Schwarzenegger
just have
shit?
like a few. No, I just have a few like professional picks. And the funny thing is, you bring this up. I think every single girl has told me like they thought I was fake, but then once I send a voice message, they could tell I was real. It's like my profile is like a super professional picture, and then like
Yeah.
ABC. So they said that's a very common like archetype of like scammers apparently. So I actually think
Oh,
your audio message tip has like maybe they might match it. The girl yesterday said like, oh, maybe I'll just match, but then if I think it's a scammer, I'm not gonna actually like meet up with them. But then
yeah.
she said like once I started sending the voice messages, she could tell that I was normal. I'm like a real person basically.
Bro,
Um,
I did a whole episode on like sending voice messages and like the Riz. So if anyone wants to check that out, dude, like voice
mhm.
messages, believe me, it changed the game entirely for me. Like, bro, the success rate after using voice messages is crazy. Like, I'm not even just talking about Taiwan, bro. I'm talking about like everywhere, like America and Taiwan. But like, yeah, dude, I feel like in Taiwan, it's probably tenfold, much more of an impact because they see like you're Chinese and they're like, oh my god, this guy's ABC. It's Kai. She's like, dude, he speaks like so cute, like a little boy.
but you also have like a podcast for like you do podcasts, right? I wouldn't recommend the voice message if a guy like has like a bad voice or like it can be a double edged sword if your voice is kind of weird. Not saying like anyone has a weird voice, but like if a girl finds it off putting, then it's gonna like polarize the opposite. Which I would argue saves time because like I guess if you show up on the date, then it probably won't work out if they don't like your voice. But
I feel like most men they have good voices. It's just about like how you want to utilize it. For example, like me, like I could talk really loud. I'm pretty sure like this whole time like I've talked
mm-hmm,
really loud for a couple times,
mm-hmm,
but then
mm-hmm,
when I talk like more calm and soothing, like a little bit like this, and
mm-hmm,
just like sounds a little bit high. Like some girls have asked me,
mm-hmm.
"Yo, are you like smoking weed? Do you sound like you sound a little bit high? Like you just smoke some weed?" And I feel like you just have to know how to utilize your voice. Like this is kind of like the voice, just like the very 很温柔, 很 submissive, affectionate sounding voice. I'm not saying to be submissive as a man, but yeah, like I don't know.
I think it's a learned skill though, because like I definitely felt like when I first did voice messages, I just sounded like I didn't know Chinese that like I wasn't confident in my Chinese. But then I listened to some of yours and I was like, oh, okay, that's more the style. So then
Dude,
I started just like implementing it.
it's crazy like how you went from like 0 to 100. Like when I was first listening you to like um send out voice messages and then versus now, I'm just like holy shit, this guy like completely mimicked my style. And then now this guy's getting results. So with that, like I think if anyone is interested, you guys should definitely leave a comment below. Like if you want to learn that tip. We don't sell like a course, but I think we're trying to build up a community of men to just like help improve, you know, because I honestly I
Mhm,
like
mhm.
seeing people improve and have success. I really hate those people who like shit on others and just like wish them their demise because you know like when you take like a test and there's like a curve, right? Some people
Mhm,
purposely sabotage others so that it makes the
mhm.
curve go down and then it's just actually, you know what? Yeah, they purposely sabotage others. Yeah, the curve goes down, and then their score is like the highest, so they get like 100%. So
Mhm,
I really
mhm.
hate those types of people. And when I saw you having success, or just like any homie having success, it honestly makes me happy. So like, if anyone is looking to join like a community, we haven't created anything like that yet. We're still discussing, but
Mhm.
yeah, like if anyone's interested, like we would definitely have more talks and then we'll probably create something like that where we could help each other out. Not to like monetize it, but like just to
Mhm.
yeah, just to be support group, you know, with each other. But yeah, dude,
Yeah, I definitely think that yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say like especially in like the Asian masculinity subreddit, there's a few like people that are like Debbie Downers. It's kind of like why I got a little burnt out of this niche because it's like I put so much work in to like try to just like put out free content and like help people out, and then there's like a few like mega haters like I recognize the username, like they'll just try to like make shit up, or like they have like so much hate pent up, and like they just
Yeah.
think about the world in one way and they're so vocal about it. It just really turns you off from the entire niche because the niche becomes like freaking coaches trying to sell their shit, and then like
Yeah.
um haters that are like just like hating on people or like trying to bring everyone down. And I mean, the whole reason I even like put effort into that subreddit is because 10 years ago when I was super whitewashed and I felt like there was no resource for me to turn to, it was like the only place where you can discuss like topics related to like the Asian male experience in the US. So for me, it made a pretty big impact, just like having something to read while I'm at the gym, or like a source of hope.
Yeah.
So I try to just do the same myself, but then it's like really annoying when there's people just like making shit up or like hating on me like for no reason, right? So like the fact that you bring, it's kind of rare to meet someone that's like trying to uplift people without too much monetary incentive, right? Because
Yeah.
the people who like post most of the time are trying to sell a course or some shit like that.
I'll
But
say
I
this
think we
too.
talked about this offline, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah. I'll say
I think
this too
for us
before
it's
before
yeah,
we
yeah.
get to Info World 101.
Oh
Um,
shit,
uh,
I didn't mean to click that.
yeah, I'll say this. Like back then, I don't want to make it that like I'm virtue signaling or something like that. But like back then
Mm-hmm.
in college, dude, I would legit give my fucking test answers to other people. Like that's how much I wanted to like help people, just because I feel like you can't really benefit just seeing others like have like a lack of success, right? I mean, it's just gonna be like a small percentage that like your success increases, but it's so minimal that it's just like what the fuck's the point sabotaging other people for their test? But yeah, let's bring up the info wars, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a small
Info
way of
wars.
thinking, right? Like if someone needs to like put other down to like feel good about themselves, then like it's like so unsustainable
It's
because
whack.
there's like so many fucking people in the world that like you bring one person down, someone else is gonna come up and like make you insecure again. So the best
Yeah.
thing you can do is just like kind of focus on yourself. Like the one thing I've learned from like dating a bunch after my ex is like at the end of the day, like you can really only focus on yourself, because I do attribute a lot of my success in Taiwan right now to the fact that I dieted for like 4 to 6 weeks really seriously, and I'm like pretty lean. Um, because like and also my haircut's like good, because I think for a while I was rocking like a really bad haircut, and then like I felt like a little self conscious about how I looked, and it probably reflected in how I dated, right? Because it's kind of all outer and inner, like they're all related. So it's very rare to find someone who like is fat and like ugly have like a lot of confidence unless they have some other like trait that they excel at, such as comedians who are like
Damn, you
really
calling
funny.
me
So like
fat
they
then?
derive
You calling me
their
fat, bro? What the fuck?
now you're hella, I thought you're hella lean. You got the
Hey, we
most
gotta
people
do
can't
that
pull off
double
the high stage.
bicep thing for that homie before we get to Info Wars.
Oh yeah, Charles, are you if Charles is still here and confirms, then we can do it.
I don't do my shit small, man. My my shit's small. Are we doing it at the same time or what?
You can go first.
Oh no, we gotta do it at the same time, bro.
We need Charles. I don't even think Charles is here anymore. Oh, it gotta be shirtless for 20.
Oh, dude, I've been fat lately, bro. All right, show it, bro. Show it,
It has to
bro.
be shirtless though. It has to be shirtless.
Small.
Yeah, dude, this feels like fucking OnlyFans, bro. This is my gateway to OnlyFans right now.
All right, let's do a
This $20.
comparison. Let's go.
I'll go shirtless.
Fuck, hey, you gotta make me look bad, bro. Come on, man. What the fuck? That's fucked. All right, go for it. Go for it.
No homo, no.
Go
homo,
for it.
no
Go
homo.
for it, man.
All right. See.
Hey, do the fucking booty thing. The,
Dude, that's another 20. That's another 20.
Oh man.
It's only because I'm lean right now. If I was fat, then
I would go
do that on
shirtless,
live
but
stream.
I've been eating like way too much. So
Charles, you don't have to give the 20.
yeah, we don't do shit for money, honestly.
Charles,
We
Charles
just
is a
fuck
homie.
around.
Charles is a homie. Dude, Charles is a fellow Taiwanese. He's like the biggest fuckboy I know.
Oh really?
Not to dox him.
How about the Info World 101? We gotta reply
Oh
that
yeah,
one,
let's
right?
go to that one.
Let's just like reply some comments and then I guess we'll follow up next time.
We're-
Holy shit. Damn, that's
Appreciate you,
funny,
Charles.
dude. How do you feel about parents setting up with a girl or getting arranged marriage? How about Josh, you share first, man. I've been talking a lot. So I probably need to shut the fuck up for a bit.
I feel like if you can't generate your own leads, then it's actually not a bad idea because you're gonna like it's kind of a shortcut. Because ultimately you're gonna get to choose who you date, right? So like, um, it's basically just like another funnel for meeting girls. Because I think there's just like a few funnels, right? It's like online dating, in person, cold approach, social service, but it's like a little more filtered, right? Because of the family background. So I don't think it's bad if they set you up, but I do think if they force you to get married, that's a different situation. So that doesn't seem as good. So that's kind of my take. I think it's a good way to meet more girls, but um, the downside is unless your parents are like absolute like savages and just like working really hard, they're probably not going to be able to find that many girls for you. I think.
Okay.
So what's your take?
My take. So, oh, my stream got a little bit messed up. Okay. So, I feel like info world is probably looking for like more pros and cons. And so, pros and cons, I would say um I've actually been set up with a girl from my parents and I really like that. It's kind of like what Josh said. It's like just another uh utilization that you could use, another resource that you could
Mm-hmm.
use and utilize. So of course, like I'd be like, yeah, I mean, if my parents are setting me up with this girl and I could go on a date with this girl, it's potential, right? Because we really lack that as a society now, where you have like arranged marriages or just getting set up, and if you have like the ability to like have a successful marriage, just getting set up from like your parents, that's like some fucking Game of Thrones type shit, which is which is pretty
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
sick. So the problem is like I'll say this right, like I got set up with a lot of Chinese girls from my parents,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like with that, it's like a totally different realm of girls that you experience and meet. So it would be girls that don't even use IG, probably don't even know what the fuck IG is or how to use it, and they're like PhDs. Like these girls don't know a lot of things and they kind of live under a rock. So I'm just kind of like I don't know if that is really like my type of cake, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like to a certain extent, you still need to find someone who really relates with you. And like, I'm assuming Info World, you're more someone who understands like tech and like slang and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't really want someone who's like living under a rock and someone who's like very archaic. You want someone who's probably like maybe I don't know, maybe you're on Reddit too, Info World. I mean, I'm not on Reddit, but like I use tech. I know certain like slangs and all that stuff, but like these girls that have PhDs that I get set up with is just like I'm like, how do you not know this? But it's not like it's not really common knowledge per se. It's just more like slang and like just like for example, I guess SMH, shake my head, right? Okay, yeah, shake my head.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, going to like a rave and these people at raves they do E, right? And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
"What's E?" I'm like, "You don't know what E is?" I'm like, "That's crazy." Yeah, so I
Yeah,
feel like getting set up, it's a totally different realm. But yeah, you could definitely use it.
I'd argue that in your example you just gave though, like that stuff you can teach, like what you just described, like oh this cultural stuff. I think if the personality is compatible enough and like you really like certain aspects, then the like raving and all that shit that's like more ABC, you can teach that. So I kind of disagree. Like I don't think just because if it's a PhD student that doesn't know what raving is, like you can't relate because you might be able to relate on like they might really like podcasting or some random hobby that you really like, and then you guys connect on that point, and
Yeah.
then you can teach her the other stuff. Um,
The thing is,
is kind of
that's
my
just
take
like
on that.
one example, like raving and just I mean, I don't even rave anymore, but it's just like
Mhm,
I don't even think that's what we talked about, but that's just one
mhm,
example, right? Not knowing certain things that
mhm,
go on in the world, and I feel like a lot of PhDs, they're
mhm,
just so keen on just studying a lot that, yeah, it could
mhm,
be teach like these certain cultures, but then at the same time, it's like there's new cultures that are constantly being put out there, and then if they're just like living
mhm,
in a very old state of mind, like a more like not really using technology, I don't
mhm.
know. To me, it's just like it's really tough to be on the same page like that. You have to teach a lot, and you have to like constantly update. It's a little bit tough for me. Yeah.
Right,
I mean, I'm
right.
not trying to date a grandma.
I will say, I think like we'll show his super chat again. But I will say like just from my experience, I think like having like a very common interest or like mindset is probably like the most important for like for dating, right? Like once you get past like the looks, like obviously you got to be attracted to them. Um, so it's not about the PhD not PhD thing because you can probably connect with. I'm sure there's cool PhD students out there, but your specific example was obviously not one of those. Um,
Yeah.
so I think like yeah, like I guess what I want to talk about is do you think it's possible to do like long distance with like let's say I'm on the wife quest, I find someone I really like. What's your take on because you tried long distance with a Taiwanese girl and it failed. So like do you think those are all just doomed to fail or like what's your take on that?
Well, I think it failed not because of long distance. We were very healthy with long distance. It's just the fact that it failed due to lack of relatable ideals. And I think what I
Mm-hmm,
mean by that is in terms of marriage, dude, she was like 2 years older than me, right? I mentioned this before.
mm-hmm,
I'm already
mm-hmm,
30, and then she's like
mm-hmm.
now probably like turning like 30.
30.
I'm gonna be turning 31 this year. She's gonna be turning 33 this year. And
Mm-hmm,
so
mm-hmm,
I think if we were to go still at the pace that she wanted to go at, we would still be in a relationship long distance without kids, without marriage. And that's not gonna cut it for
mm,
me. Like I was trying to speed up the process and I had a lot of pressure because I was like, fuck, she's like 2 years older and I'm very worried about the geriatric pregnancy. So I was like, hey,
mm-hmm,
like, we gotta get you over here, see how you like working here, see how you like the lifestyle over here, and see if it's feasible. And she was just like saying that it's a lot of stress and pressure. But then with the current
mm-hmm,
girl that I'm dating right now, it's just like these things. She thinks that it's ingayda. It's supposed to happen.
mm-hmm,
These are things that are just common things that people should do. And so me getting or talking about certain things like this, it's very easy. Like I don't have to beat around the bush with her.
mm-hmm,
With my ex, it would be like, hey, so what do you think? And it's not like I could just straight up be like, okay, so like when do you want to move in? Okay, are we gonna do this? And just have like a whole schedule laid out. Like I kind of had to be like, hey, can we talk about this? What do you think? And it was just like an extra barrier, dude. Just kind of annoying. WNW, by the way, thank you again. Definitely interested in a community to help each other out. So I think anyone who's interested in that community, I guess you could Instagram message, Instagram DM Chain Nation. So we get like your social security number. No, I'm just kidding. Your socials.
mm-hmm.
And then so we could send out like an invite, like if we ever do like create something like that. But we'll talk a little bit more. Like I'm thinking, dude, Josh, are you
Yeah,
eating or
keep
something?
going, keep going. I'm just no, I'm just I have to start the dryer real quick.
Okay,
Just
okay.
keep going, keep going.
No worries. Yeah, dude, I'm thinking does Asian masculinity that subreddit do they have like a
Hmm.
Discord or anything like that?
Yeah, we can poach their members.
I'm
No, I was
thinking
kidding.
if they don't have a Discord, what if
They have a
we just
Discord. Yeah, yeah.
what if we just name it Asian masculinity?
No, they have a Discord though.
Oh, they have. Oh, okay. Never mind.
Yeah.
We'll name it our own
Um,
then. The
we
real
can call it
Asian masculinity.
Taiwanese masculinity.
That's pretty good. It's gonna be really niche down though, man. But we'll see. Yeah.
I'm just playing. Yeah, I feel like the problem with Discord is it's really hard to maintain.
Yeah.
Um,
We'll
is
see
my
what's
take.
up. Yeah.
Oh,
I guess like after you're done with the dryer. Like, let's just go through like the last few comments that people have. So if people want to just stick around for us to answer.
Wait, you never answered my question.
Yeah. Wait. Sorry. What?
Oh, the long, like, do you think it's possible to do long distance with Taiwan and US? Like, you basically just have to have a closing
Yeah.
plan, right? Like,
Yeah.
one
It's
person
it's
needs.
definitely, dude. Like, and my ex isn't all bad. You know, she's good. She's we have a good relationship still, and you know, no hate. Everything ended well,
Mhm,
and so I feel like with Taiwanese girls, like they're still going to be affectionate, and so I feel like long distance still would work out. Um,
mhm,
if anything, it probably wouldn't work out because she would want to see you a lot, and
mm,
she probably just argue with you because she can't see you. I don't know, but like you have to see like how much resilience that girl has. I had another Taiwanese
mhm,
girl. It was kind of long distance too, and she would kind of be
mhm,
like pouty about that. She's like, "Oh, I can't see you." I'm like pissed off. I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, why are you taking this out on me?"
mhm.
So like you
Oh,
have to
okay.
see what's up. But I would say for the most part, long distance in Taiwan is solid, dude. Dude, are you already thinking about long distance? Dude, this
Well, no,
guy
I
is
mean, you gotta
crazy,
see how
man.
the.
Like this guy was thinking about a whole future with the first girl. He was like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
thinking
a simp.
about traveling with this girl and just going to Southeast Asia, all that stuff." And I was like, "Damn, this guy's thinking about a
I'm a
whole
romantic
future."
type, bruh. I'm a romantic. What can I say?
I do that too, man.
Well,
It's
to be
just
honest with the second girl, the C girl, that's the front runner. She offered to take me to like Tainan or like one of those cities outside of Taipei for like a weekend trip. So I feel like that would be like a very like you can kind of like tell how much you like someone if you do like a trip with them, right?
dude, if she's offering to take you, which a lot of Taiwanese girls do, by the way, they will be like, "Hey, let me take you here." Because,
Hmm.
like I said before, they want to do this whole God complex thing where it's like, I want to be taking this guy around and like teaching him everything. And it's not like because they want to wear the pants, it's more like they see it as very cute, but at the same time, they still maintain this feminine quality where it's like, I want to be cute and affectionate, but at the same time, I want to show you these things. And like
Hmm.
um, people always relate like, oh, the man, he wants to show and teach everything. That's a masculine quality. It's actually not. When you love someone, you just want to be affectionate and show them like the whole world, like show them things that you know. And I feel like it's
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
masculine or feminine. It's just this girl is just affectionate, right? And affectionate could be masculine or feminine. So
Yeah, yeah. I
that's
mean, I will say I did ask. I did ask because like she said the only ABC she's dated like it was like a weird situation where they like it was during COVID, so like 4 years ago, but they like planned to go on a trip together like on the app. So they met up once for like dinner to just vet, and then they went on a trip, and then that was it because like that guy had some girl back home. So
yeah.
now I was just like, oh, would you take me on a trip? And she's like, yeah, of course. Like she's like so nice. She's like, yeah, of course. Like, where do you want to go? I was like, oh,
Hey,
she was hella nice.
bro. I know you're a man. Like you're a very valuable guy. You're a very, how do you say it? You're a super masculine man. Okay, but I want to see this. If she said, "I'll take you," let her take you and see all the things that she will just pay for you and take care of. Like you'll see, bro. Like I shit you not, she will take care of a lot, and she will still love
Well,
you as much.
I don't know if she's gonna pay because dude, I pay for the first date, but I also think like the places we went
She'll
were
pay
like,
for you. She'll pay for you. Everything I said, it comes to life, right? Like she'll pay for you. Trust me. Not for everything in Tainan, but then she'll pay for you, bro. Like and then
like
we'll
you think she'll pay for like things here and there basically.
yeah, and then she'll pretty much she probably might even take care of the Airbnb, bro. You know what I mean?
No way. I don't think she will. Like, why do you say that?
Dude, man, like everything I say, it comes to life, bro.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You are like a
We'll see
fucking
how it
fortune
goes. We'll
teller.
follow up. Um,
You are a fortune teller over there.
I guess last comment on my end.
Okay.
When is a good time to when is the best time to go to Taiwan? I'm definitely gonna go probably sometime this year. The best time to go to Taiwan is honestly,
It's like right now.
I would say anytime except for no, I would say anytime. I think winter though, it rains a lot though. So like the dates would be it's gonna be all like foggy and all that. It's not really gonna be that convenient. But right now it's pretty cool because
Mhm.
spring over there, it's pretty hot over there. And it lasts all the way up until like I would say um June or July. Like, it gets really hot during August, I would say.
I guess okay.
Yeah. Do you have any chats on your end?
Nope, not really. I think like let's see. Yeah, I feel like this was a good stream. I think like in general, I want to bring you back on consistently, just because it's easy to riff with you. Like that's the case with most live stream guests. Like we talked about this offline. I feel like there's like a balance of people talking too much or like kind of like talking about shit that like the audience doesn't care about. But I feel like overall the viewership is always pretty stagnant. So yeah, I feel like next time if you guys want to comment down below what you want to see, we can cater it more. But um, I'll probably be in Taiwan for like until like June. So hopefully there's more stories to come.
We trying to run it again next week? We're trying to have another follow up or what's up?
Yeah, we can probably run it next. I think maybe run it next week or the week after.
we,
Um,
we gotta have a crazy story. Like, dude, I want to follow up with that. See, like maybe the next live stream it'd be like the title would be went to Taiwan with a girl. She paid for everything. Dude,
I
that'd
don't
be
know if I can
crazy.
get you that title.
That'd be
I
crazy.
feel like I'm a little like I feel a little bad like I'm a little buhawis because like I kind of know like
Yeah.
they don't make as much.
Yeah, no, I know, but like if she offered to pay for everything, I think like if every meal she's like offering, I would say she paid for everything pretty much. But you just didn't let her.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. The
Yeah,
offer.
so I consider that like a W. Like when a girl offers to
Mhm.
pay, I'm just like, okay, yeah, she pretty much paid in my mind. But I'm not gonna let that happen. I'm still gonna pay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the thought that counts. But yeah, this is a good stream. Honestly, I had fun. Like, any like closing words or like check out Panda's channel, the Controvert Podcast, and then yeah,
Yeah.
we'll have him on again.
And just want to say thanks WNW on my stream. This is my first time streaming, live streaming in like 2 years. So dude, you supported a lot, brother. Really appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right, I'll see you guys.
All right,
in
guys.
the next episode.
Yeah, peace out.
Peace.